when
On this episode of This is Game Boy, how did the toad die? He croaked. Hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of This is a Game Boy, episode 37 already. And I think we're either getting close or are right around our 3-year anniversary for this. This is crazy. We've been doing this for 3 years. Wow. Yeah, I think episode 36 would have been 3 years. Although we did have a episode 0, but whatever. Anyways, like always, I'm Moelle. I'm here to inform you about some very cool Game Boy games. And with me today is not eBloodyCandy at all, but it's a former guest of ours who you may recognize from the Froggy Game episode and the Link's Awakening episode. It's Granen Hero.
hello.
There he is. Alright, so, the reason why eBloodyCandy is not here today for this episode is because he absolutely hates the entire Battletoads series. So, he didn't, he said we had to do this episode, by the way. I didn't suggest this at all.
Yeah,
he was like, here, do Battletoads, but do it with Hero, because I don't want to.
Yeah, because he went into my stream and said something like, I think I played Battletoads on the NES, and he was like, oh my god, I hate Battletoads. And I was like, yeah, you're gonna have to do the Game Boy games someday. And he just wrote, well, why don't you do it with Mo then? And yeah, here we are, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. Like, I mean, I like Battletoads, so it works out for me.
Yeah, for the content of the episode, I'm happy you and me are doing this episode. Two persons that actually like the game and not eBloodyCandy. Sorry, EBC, but it wouldn't do fair to the game to have him ranting about it.
Yeah, like, I can't even imagine, like, a game or game series that I do hate, but that I wouldn't be able to do an episode about. Like, I can't come up with anything that I hate so much, to be honest. Like, one of my most quote-unquote hated games is, like, Super Mario 64. I really do not like that game at all, but I could still do an episode about it, I guess. Or the one I've mentioned 700 times on the podcast, Breath of the Wild. Like, I could go on hours about that. I'm being fair, at least.
I can't wait for the Picross double episode then.
I'm not doing an episode on that at all.
Or you saying there are 2 episodes then? One for each game?
There's not much to say about those, sadly. Maybe I'll do a light on it when I finished both of them, but... besides that, there won't be any long Picross. Like, what can you say? It's a nanogram.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. So here it is. Here was the Picross episode. We've already done it. Moving on now. All right, but like always, let's take a look at what have we been up to besides playing Game Boy games or playing Game Boy games, whatever. But not for the podcast. So let's start with you, Granen here. What have you been playing?
Yeah, thanks. About 2 weeks ago, we had Monster Hunter Rise release on the Nintendo Switch. As our viewers don't know, I'm a big Monster Hunter fan, because I've never talked about it on this podcast before. Monster Hunter is a huge game series for me. I don't know if you've played any Monster Hunter games.
I got one on the Wii U. I don't remember which one that is, like 3 or something.
Yeah, it's 3 Ultimate.
Probably. I played it for 2 hours and I stopped playing it. It's totally nothing for me. Like, people know that I love RPGs and action RPGs and things like that, but something like that where it's basically just grinding and also basically having to play in a team, because on your own it's pretty boring in my opinion. It's just not for me. It's not an experience I enjoy. I can see the appeal of this of the series, but yeah, I'm never playing those games ever in my life again.
Yeah, that's understandable, because that Wii U game was my first experience with the game as well. And as you were saying, I played only a couple of hours as well, and I was like, ugh, this sucks. This is not... I thought I was getting like a Dark Souls-ish RPG boss game or something.
Right.
Yeah, so I didn't like that one. But then when the new 3DS came out, that was in 2015, the one with the analog stick on the right side, both Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate and Majora's Mask was release titles for the upgraded 3DS. And I thought to myself, I need to play that. I need to give Monster Hunter a new chance, because everybody loves it, more or less. So I tried it, and fast forward to the Monster Hunter Rise release, I've been playing about 2,500 hours Monster Hunter across 3 different games up to Monster Hunter Rise. And now 2 weeks from the Monster Hunter Rise release, I'm almost 100 hours into the game. And I've been working full time, streaming my regular schedule, and so I don't really know how I have gotten those hours to pass. But it's business as usual. It's very beginner friendly. It's a very easy Monster Hunter game. It's a good beginner game for sure. And we're having a lot of fun playing with folks in my Discord and stuff like that, with the community. So
it's definitely a community-based game. Like, on your own, I don't think it shines at all.
The older games were very team-based, party of 4. But for every game that came the last couple of years, it's more single-player friendly for sure.
Okay.
Even the story in the PS4, Xbox, PC game Monster Hunter World, you have to see like all the cutscenes in single player mode before you can call in the help of other hunters.
Oh wow, okay.
But now in Rise you can see the cutscenes together and stuff like that.
Nice, yeah.
But yeah, it's business as usual. I love it. As always with these kind of games, we are getting free title upgrades every month. So that is more or less free DLC at the end of every month. A couple of new more monsters, a couple of new more weapon armor pieces, stuff like that. So they keep the community alive more than like a month. So every end of the month, more the players are returning and just trying to beat the new monsters as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's like a new age gaming thing, really, like constantly having updates for your games. Like I don't really like that. And again, I don't play games like Monster Hunter or like Fall Guys or even like things like Fortnite or something where it's constantly update this, update that, season 1, season 2, season 517. Like, I don't care about content like that. If I buy a game, I want to play it through the end and I'm done with it. Unless there is some kind of DLC. But even then, I'm like the game is over. Let me be. Like, I don't need the DLC, really. That's... It's a good thing to keep people coming back to your game and keep playing it, but yeah, there's so much content out there and so much games out there. I do not really like having to spend so much time on one game, and what is the expression? I'm throwing in my own windows by saying this when I'm getting to the games I've been playing, actually. But like that's usually nothing I really enjoy, at least.
Yeah, I usually don't play these kind of games you're mentioning, like Fall Guys and Fortnite with this kind of content coming. But Monster Hunter is Monster Hunter. I really love the series, and it got a special place in my heart for sure, Monster Hunter. Other than that, I've been playing Yakuza, Like a Dragon. Are you familiar with the Yakuza games?
I know what they are. I know they're like silly takes on the quote-unquote crime genre, as they are called, those games. But I've never really actually seen one or played one.
Yeah, same here. I'm not big on open world at all. I don't like games like GTA, Red Dead Redemption. I don't like Horizon. I don't like Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man is alright because it's Spider-Man, but with another character, I would never have played that one. So the Yakuza series is it's nothing I would want to play. But Like a Dragon, the last game in the series, there's a turn-based combat in that one.
Right. Yeah.
So it's more like, say, I don't know, Final Fantasy 12 maybe, with the characters moving around, but when you have drawn your weapon, it's combat time. Kind of like Final Fantasy 12, but I don't think you can do the automatic combat as
Final Fantasy 12 is basically programming.
and Yakuza is not like that. I've played it for about 10 hours, and what really shines with this game is just like you said, it's a lot of humor in it, a lot of like comedy. Like the first real party member you get, it's a hobo, and he's essentially your mage. So instead of throwing fireballs, he throws pigeon food at the enemies, and then pigeons come attack them. When he heals himself, the heal action actually it is called a power nap, and he actually lays down, scratching his ass, taking a power nap mid battle to gain like a little bit of HP left, and then he just takes out his umbrella again and keeps pummeling the enemies. So it's kind of like GTA, Grand Theft Auto meets South Park games.
That does sound like a South Park trope.
And that's why I had to pick it up. A friend of mine told me to buy it, and I was like, I'm not gonna play a Yakuza game. I haven't played anyone before. And then another friend picked it up, and he was like, dude, you have to play it. It's kind of like the South Park game. And I'm like, you got me there. I love both the Fractured Butthole and a Stick of Truth. So I'm listening. And he just sold it to me, everything he told me about the game. And I'm 10 hours in, and I will play it this evening for another 5 hours for sure. Because it's really fun.
Yeah, like, I mean, it looks fun. Like, all of those games looked fun. I just never picked one up. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so if you want to like dip your toes in the Yakuza series and want the turn-based combat, this one might be a good start, because the games are like the Final Fantasy games. You don't have to play like 1 trillion games before this one. You can just start with this one.
Yeah, I should not do that because I have way too many RPGs to play. Like, I keep buying them. It's unbelievable. I'll come back to that when I'm when I'm summing up my games as well. Shortly, because I did something stupid again. But
but then I can make you feel good. I actually bought in my shelf behind me. I have Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Switch. I was gonna play that before Monster Hunter, and I have not unwrapped it yet. So I will probably never play that one. Other than these 2 current generations game, I took a little golf tour in the Game Boy world during my console challenge, PGA Tour 96. It's more or less the same game as PGA European Tour. That was the game that came out 95. It's golf on Game Boy. They try to do it like it's a real golf simulator, not like the Mario games with I don't know, piranha plants and fire shots and whatnot. It's a golf simulator on Game Boy. You get what you you get what you think you get.
It's golf. Yeah, I like golf games. I mean, always have, like the silly ones or the normal ones. So, yeah.
Yeah, did you play? I know you got the PC Engine Mini as well, or PC Engine Core or Core Graphics, whatever it's called in Europe. Did you play that Power Golf?
Well, I keep forgetting that I actually own that thing. So the only thing I've played on it is Newtopia, actually. I haven't even touched it besides that game. So, yeah, no. I haven't. I should really go back.
I'm curious about Power Golf, and you should probably play that one instead of PGA Tour 96.
I have to play the Game Boy one, so...
Yeah. Those two games aren't bad. They are just golf simulators. It takes a while to, like... You actually have to calculate the wind. If a club says it's gonna hit the ball 200 yards, that is with the rolling of the ball, or whatever you're gonna call it. So the ball will probably strike down and at 170 yards and then roll for another 30, if it's on the fairway and stuff like that. So it takes a couple of like minutes to get used to that one. But there's a password on every hole, so you don't have to.
That's good.
If you have a really bad, let's say you hit a tree, then you can just soft reset the game, select start B and A at the same time, and the game remembers your last password. So it's absolutely hassle free to do it like that.
Okay.
And on my system challenge, I also did a little like Easter special with the two Pokemon games I haven't played yet. Blue and Red. I already finished Pokemon Yellow like 2 years ago maybe. And I knew that someday I had to play Blue and Red as well. I don't want to catch all the Pokemons on stream, because it will take some time and I will just get bored. I love catch Pokemon in games offline, but on stream I kind of get stressed of the idea. So during Easter on the Thursday on Easter week, I did Pokemon Red, and we actually caught all the legendary birds, and after credits roll we got Mewtwo as well, just as a extra thing. I haven't caught the legendaries in Gen 1 in 20 years or something.
Yeah.
And that took about 10.5 hours. We did the Nidoking strategy. He was pummeling everyone down with his Thrash moves and Earthquake and whatnot. And then two days later, on Easter Eve, or whatever it's called, we did Pokemon Blue with Blastoise in the front. And Blastoise is a beast. He 8 hours later, he was level 76. And he took the Elite Four by himself.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So you can play through a Pokemon Gen 1 game in like sub 10 hours if you don't switch Pokemons ever.
Yeah, like I know that some people only play with starter Pokemon and never even bother with any other Pokemon. I don't. I always make a team of 6 that I roll with because I like the variety. Maybe not in the first one that much because it's pretty simple, but for my challenge I did catch them all for Pokemon Blue and Red. The way I did it was I think I played Blue on stream, and Red I played offline just to get the exclusives.
Oh, nice.
But you have to play like more than half the game to get all the exclusives actually. So I did it like that, and then I traded them in on stream. And then I used the Safari Zone glitch thing to get the ones that I was missing.
Yeah, because you need 3 Eevees to get all the evolutions. So how did you solve that one?
I don't remember. Maybe I played until I got an Eevee, then traded it, and then restarted it or so. I don't remember how exactly, but at least I got everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for the Safari Zone, for people who don't know, if you do the thing with where missing no is, because everybody knows how to do that one, you can also do it to spawn Safari exclusive Pokemon there. So they're easier to catch, so I did that. And I think in Blue, I did the Mew glitch, so you can actually get a Mew. I had all 151 Pokemons on one save file eventually. That was a lot of fun, but it was like 38 hours in total, so...
Yeah.
It takes a while for sure.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to like wrap both games up in 18 hours, because it's the same games more or less. Everybody has already played them, so I did a little event of it all, and I'm happy. I'm happy I did it that way.
Yeah, I consider them one game. Like even Yellow, I consider the same. Like, I don't like Yellow, so I don't want to play it anyways. But it's a black card. It's whatever.
It's a yellow card.
It's a it is a yellow card. Yeah, but yeah, I hate that one. I really do not like it.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. I've been collecting monsters. I've been killing monsters. I've become a monster, and I played some golf.
Yeah, that's a nice roundup of that for sure. So yeah, me, when it comes to Game Boy, I haven't been doing much, even though I did a lot of hours. That may sound weird, but I'm actually playing through Picross 2 more. That game just takes forever. I'm almost at 50 hours now, and I still have 3 worlds to do for Mario. So yeah, I'm not even halfway through the game at this point, so it just keeps going and going and going. And I decided to do Mario completely, then go back to some other games, and then come back to the Wario levels later on.
Yeah,
but I just
like
wanted to get... Yeah, I just wanted to get rid of some levels, just like... At least I feel like I've been making some progress. But yeah, I've gotten so much better at Picross. Like, some puzzles I solve in like 5 minutes compared to earlier. When I just started it, I was just sitting there and staring at the screen for an hour. So that went a lot better. One weird thing to note about Picross 2, and I may have mentioned this before, but... each world has 10 puzzles, but the 10th puzzle only unlocks if you never fail any of the other puzzles before that. And with failing, it really means running out of time, so it says game over. So making mistakes is fine, but you can't use hints. You can't run out of time, basically. So if you do that for all the 9 pictures before the 10th one, it unlocks. The way I found it out was because when I picked it back up again now, I was at World 4, and I didn't game over once because I've gotten so much better at it. So the 10th one did unlock. So I was like, oh, so it's really just not game overing. It's not making any mistakes, because that's what I thought it was. So I went back to World 1 offline, not while streaming, and I redid all of the World 1 puzzles with the solutions right next to me, to see if it would unlock the 10th one. It does not.
Oh,
so
it's first time
it's
only.
locked out forever. If you ever fail one puzzle, it's just locked out forever, which is dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah, you should be able to redo that.
Yeah, like, to complete a game, you do not need to do them at all. So that's fine. But now I feel like betrayed that I can't do those 3 puzzles that I missed because I wasn't good enough at the game yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So those are gone forever. Maybe when I finish the game, I'll make a new save. There are 2 save files. Maybe I'll redo those on my own offline and then do those 3 puzzles that I've quote-unquote missed. I don't know. Just to have it completely done.
Can you, like, quit out of the game if you're about to lose, or do you reset it if you're about to lose?
That I actually don't know. Because I know if you quit a puzzle and go back in, you just pick up where you left off, but I don't know if you can just retry. Yeah, I'm not sure. No idea.
That's a very Nintendo thing to do. I know Mario 3D Land for the 3DS. There was you could get like 5 stars on your save file, and 1 star was like beat the game, 1 star was beat the game with Luigi, the 3rd star was get the top of every pole. I don't remember what the 4th star was, and the 5th star was never see the white Tanuki suit. And that means never see it. It doesn't matter if you pick it up or not. If you see it, and you do get to see it when you die 5 times in a level.
Yeah.
And if you just see it, then you lock out that 5th star on the save file. You cannot get it.
Wow. Yeah.
So
that's
they've been doing this for 30 years then.
yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. I think I remember that from the completionist's video on it, that he mentioned something like that. Yeah. That's dumb. Yeah, why? Well, that's just a star at least, so that's not content, really.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, because you're locking people out of playing parts of your game for no real reason. Again, there's more than enough puzzles in this game. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's just weird that they did that. So, but yeah, that's basically all I've been playing on Game Boy. I did a few runs for practice for Retroton for Darkwing Duck. I've gotten a new PB actually.
Oh, nice.
So
Congrats.
that was like, whoa, okay. And my sum of best is like so much better. So hopefully I'll get some more PBs out there. And I should pick up eSpark soon, but I still have 3 weeks, I think. So
nice.
Everything should be fine. But yeah, that's all I've been doing when it comes to Game Boy. Besides that, I played a little indie game called Claire on PS4. I did a PS4 version because I had it from PS Plus from like 3 years ago or whatever. And I never really got... the chance. I probably had the chance to play it. I just never did. But it's a little horror game, a 2D horror game. And the PS4 version is called Claire Extended Cut. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's a poor choice of words for that game. So, very poor choice of words. If people know it, they will immediately get why it's a poor choice of words. If not, maybe check it out yourself. It's probably on Steam as well, but just as Claire. I don't know what the extended cut actually means, because I don't think there's extra content in this version or anything. So, yeah, there you go. It's okay if you like a short, scary 2D horror game. One problem with it was, and this is something I've noticed for a long time, and I always make the joke of it when I see it coming up, but it's made in Unity, and every time I see that thing appear, I'm like, oh, this game is gonna be buggy as hell. Like, every time. It doesn't matter if it's a AAA studio or an indie developer. Every time I see that Unity logo, I'm like, oh my god, this game is gonna get buggy. And lo and behold, the game crashed 10 times on me, and it softlocked 2 times on me, so I just knew it was coming. But yeah, this is like, if you play it blind, I would say it takes you around 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe, depending on how thorough you are. If you want to get all the trophies, you have to play it once on normal mode, collecting everything. Use a guide for that if you can't find it, because it gets a little cumbersome after a while. And then one more playthrough on nightmare mode, which took me 25 minutes or something, like half an hour. So yeah, it's a really short game if you know what you're doing, but it's a little confusing. Just think of Silent Hill when you get the map right, you know where you are and where you can go, and everything gets crossed off. This has the same thing, but it's in 2D, and there's doors in the background and doors in the foreground, and it gets like really confusing which door is which, and everything looks the same. Like, yeah, it's...
Oh, it's like Dr. Franken all over again.
Yeah, basically it is. Yeah, something like that. But a way better map, at least. But yeah, it's confusing. Working in a 3D environment in a 2D space like that is kind of hard. But yeah, it was an okay game. Just okay. Like, I wouldn't super recommend it or anything. But if you have like 5 hours in total to spare and want a pretty easy platinum on PlayStation, there you go. Like,
you got it for free as well, so.
And I got it for free, yeah. And I doubt it's like more than $5 anyway. So
yeah, probably.
So yeah, I've been doing that, and then because of you and other people and blah blah blah, everybody kept mentioning it to me, and I didn't want to, but I caved in eventually. Anyways, I got Hades for Switch. I've played it only 2 times so far, like 4 hours in total or something like that. Yeah, this is a really great game. Like, there's nothing more I can say. It's like really, really good. I was kind of expecting not to like it because it's like an isometric view, basically, which I'm not really into. But yeah, it's great. It plays amazingly well. You keep progressing without even trying because unlike some other roguelite games, like, you actually do upgrade yourself. You never start from the absolute bottom, basically. Or at least you can pick up some perks that you can use at the start. Like, yeah, it's just really good, and the permanent upgrades are great to have. And the story, I don't know what's going on, but it keeps it interesting with the dialogue and things like that. And it looks pretty. It looks pretty. It plays really great. It kind of reminds me of, what is it called? Like Hyper Light Drifters style of fighting. Like very fluent, fast-paced action. Which, yeah, I love Hyper Light Drifter. So this battle style immediately felt natural to me, at least. So.
Well, good thing you didn't buy it when it came out for the Switch during last year with the digital copy only, because now you could get the physical one, and that it seems pretty limited, that one.
It probably is, yeah. Like most of the indie indie games that get released, it's a trend I'm not super happy about either.
Yeah, I agree.
I love that these games are coming out physically because I like having them, and like the best example I can give now with digital content, PS3 and PSP stores are going down. Like, it's gone. You cannot get any DLC. You cannot. Yeah, you just can't have access to all those things anymore, and that's the downside of digital. Okay, it saves space. It's not cheaper because it's usually the same price anyways. When it's gone, it's gone. You will never be able to get access to that content anymore. And the same thing with like, I know they will keep the servers alive for people who have already bought the thing so they can re-download it. A thing they didn't mention though was like, what with patches and things like that in the future? Because a lot of games, not then, but at least now, a lot of games that are released have a day one patch because they're so broken. What if that disappears and you're stuck with like a game that doesn't work properly? Like, I just, that's the problem I have with the digital age, of course. Like, if I know I have a Game Boy game, I put it in and it works. Even if it's not programmed well, it will still work. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a problem. So like, I love having this Hades. I don't know if they have DLC planned or anything like that. We will see in the future. But yeah, there will be a time that all that content is just not available to you anymore. And yeah, there goes your money. Like, what have you spent it on? Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You will have to cherish the memories.
Yeah.
But it's like a vacation. If you fly down to the Canary Islands, when you go home, everything you got is just the memories from that place and maybe photographs of it and a hangover. And that's like digital content as well. When it's gone, it's gone. You only have the memories of it. Maybe you can see it in that way. I don't know if that was a good comparison.
Yeah, I mean, you can compare it to a lot of things. Like, it's fleeting content. Like, you don't own anything. You're just renting code for a while, basically. So, it's weird. Like I'm. That's a weird expression. I was gonna say I'm a very physical person, but that's not really. I'll come to your house and beat you up, boy. Come on. No, I just like having things because then I know I have them, and I maybe in the future have something to share with another person. Like I don't have a family, right? Well, I mean my parents, but I don't have an actual family. I don't have like a girlfriend or kids or anything. Like I have a godchild, but like something that I have in the future that I could pass on to somebody, and they can throw it in the trash for all they care, of course, but it's something to share. And like with the digital content, it's like there's nothing. Like it's just gone.
I understand what you're getting at.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, Hades, great game. If you haven't played it, go play it yourself. It won awards for a very good reason. Like it's a fantastic game.
When you don't know anything about that game and you watch a person stream it or a YouTube channel or whatever, it looks boring. It just looks boring. That was my first impression of the game. So you actually have to play it or have like a friend or Mo tell you to play it, because it's a great game. But the first impression of the game is kind of weak in my opinion.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed by like seeing people play it at all, or looking at screenshots or people describing it like at all. Like I was like, this does not look great. But
no, I agree.
Yeah, and then 2 hours in, I was like, oh my god, this is so good. It's just one of those games that's it speaks to a lot of people. Because the difficulty is not that high either, in my opinion. Like compared to other types of games like this,
you can even access God mode if you just want to experience the story.
All right, I forgot about that.
It's in the options, and then you like get more or less. You're godlike. You can kill everything how easy as you want.
Yeah. So you go check it out. If it's not for you, well, too bad.
Too bad. Play something else.
I don't think there's a demo or anything like that. That's something I miss sometimes. Like, give me a demo so I can at least check it out. But yeah, whatever. That's Hades. And then I said earlier I don't like to play games for millions of hours because of DLC that keeps coming. But I couldn't resist. I bought the new DLC for the Binding of Isaac. That just came out on Steam. Console versions will come out later, which will probably also be a DLC that you have to buy, I assume.
I think
on
so.
Switch. Like everybody probably knows that I love Binding of Isaac. Like I've put that's not how you say it. I've put like definitely 600 hours into the Switch version. I have one file on that is completed. Like everything is done until, of course, this expansion comes out on Switch. But as this is only on PC, I've gotten the PC DLC, of course. I'm not that far into it. I think I messed up twice with that import save file function, like in the earlier versions. Like it really messed up my progress, so I have to replay a lot of stuff, which is fine. Like I love the game, so I don't really care. But I have to redo a lot of stuff for sure. Some people have been saying that this final DLC makes things a whole lot harder, and they keep getting the same items and things like that. Out of my experience, totally untrue. It adds a lot of content. It changes a lot of old items. Like one example I have is like the holy water was absolute a trash item in the original in Afterbirth Plus. They upgraded that significantly, where it's actually really cool. But I did hear that they nerfed the holy shield.
But
I'm not sure how yet, but somebody told me that in the older version, the Holy Shield, which is something you really need on the Lost to play through the game, because otherwise it gets ridiculous. But in the old version, it kind of had a few iframes after you've taken a hit, so you could survive brimstone blasts. But apparently there are no iframes anymore, so
Oh,
if you ever get hit by brimstone, you're just dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's not a good thing, actually.
but that,
Like, totally. I don't know why they would change that. Like,
yeah, maybe they didn't think about that change. It just
yeah,
happened
maybe
during-
maybe it will get patched or something. It seems like a weird change, at
Yeah.
least.
But
Yeah, they nerfed some things and blah, blah, blah.
This sounds like when the Wrath of the Lambs came out, because me and my sister were playing the original Isaac a lot, and then when the Wrath of the Lambs or Lamb came out,
Lamb, yeah.
just like people were telling you now that you get the same items all the time, we got the angel wings every single run for like 10 or 20 runs, and we just felt so overpowered. Like, all right, so we're gonna keep flying in every attempt now, because it's a new item. And I can't remember when I got a pair of angel wings in Isaac. Nowadays it's super rare.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, but I just think it's that's how the way the game goes. All of a sudden you get like the same items 10 tries in a row, and then you don't see it for like weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, the pool just gets bigger and bigger with each DLC. So and it's all RNG. So like, I mean, sometimes you just get lucky and sometimes you don't. That's just the whole appeal about this game, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I've been putting some hours into this again. Like usually an hour or two a day or something, trying to unlock some things. I haven't seen much of the new content yet. Like, I know there's the mausoleum and there's like whatever. I don't even know how to get there. So I'm just playing through the game like I play through it, and I'll get it eventually. Otherwise, I'll just look it up how to access it. But yeah, it's just more Isaac with more items. So why wouldn't I play it? I just love this game. So
yeah, I wanted to get the PC version as well, but just as you, I got that Nintendo Switch save file 100% complete. And I want to keep playing on that one. I was so close at clicking that Steam button to get the PC version, but
it's totally worth it. Like, if you like Binding of Isaac, get it for sure. But yeah,
did you play Bumbo?
I did get Bumbo, but it wasn't really for me.
Yeah, because I bought it as well, as it was a pre-order sale.
Yeah, indeed. But I think I played it for 4 hours or something.
Yeah.
Not the same. It's a good game, but it's not my game. Like, it's nothing for me. But yeah, that's those games. And then the last thing I can mention, speaking of me having like 30 RPGs lying around, I actually should play. So what I'm trying to do is, on my PlayStation 4 right now, is get through all these games I have lying around. Because I have so many that I haven't had a chance to play. And I was looking at my at my games, and I saw like, I actually never finished Final Fantasy 15. Maybe I should do that one. Right next to it, Final Fantasy 12 The Zodiac Age. Haven't even started that one. Right next to that, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. Never played that game. So what did I end up doing? Buying Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. Unbelievable. So I bought that yesterday. I'm playing through it. It will only take like 30 hours with the speed up function or things like that. But yeah, there's 3 games I will always go back to. I can play over and over again. And I think it's like tied to a year. Like, any year I play one of these 3 games, and it's Final Fantasy 7, 8, or 9. Like, for some reason, I keep going back to them over and over and over again.
You're like an episode of Supernatural when they've like seen every 30 years there are disappearing 4 women in this village out in nowhere. And
Yeah,
every
yeah.
year Mo plays at least one Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, one of those three every time. Like, I don't know why. I just love all of them. Like, a lot of people hate 8, but I think it's amazing.
It's
So
cool.
yeah, I'm playing the remaster now, trying to get all the trophies. Blah blah blah. Like, it's just a very chill time for me because I love this game so much.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
very
that's
nice.
that's all I've been up to lately, and then working on a lot of stuff in the background. So like usual. All right, but yeah, that's pretty much it for our intro part. So now we're gonna take a quick break so you people can listen to some amazing Battletoads music by good old David Weiss. And when we get back, we'll dive into the actual game for this episode. See you then. Welcome back, everybody. Let's dive into topic of this episode: Battletoads for Game Boy. Contrary to what a lot of people who haven't played this game would believe, this is not the port of the NES version. That is actually another game called Battletoads in Ragnarok's World. But this is the original game for Game Boy. And it's actually the second game in the series, so it came out after the NES version. So what is Battletoads for people who don't know? It's basically a beat 'em up game, like slash arcade style vehicle stage game, if that makes any sense. But yeah, most people know it as a very hard beat 'em up game for sure. And yeah, like Battletoads didn't start out as an arcade game, which some people think. It did have an arcade game, but that came out as the final game in the series, quote unquote final, because it just got rebooted actually. But yeah, the arcade game was called Super Battletoads. Came that was the last one they made, and it was not received very well, sadly. But yeah, this is basically the second game in the series, so it has nothing to do with the NES game. So what are the Battletoads? Well, I don't know where this comes from because I found it.
Yeah, it's the first
Maybe
time
it's-
I'm reading this as well.
Yeah, maybe it's from the new one because I haven't played that
Yeah.
one. So maybe it comes from that, but I'll just go over this real quick. According to the game's backstory, the Battletoads were originally human computer technicians and roommates. The trio tested the original Battletoads game by playing the game as the Toads in a sort of virtual reality simulation. They became suspicious of both their boss and chief game programmer Silas Volkmeyer and decided to investigate the office at night. Upon finding the video game unit turned on, they tested it to see if it had been tampered with. This was a trap, and they were transported to another planet, permanently transformed into the Battletoads. So I think this might be the plot of the newest one, maybe.
Yeah, that would make sense. I've only tried that game really, really fast. I think eBloodyCandy played it through though, which is
Yeah, and he
amazing,
actually
'cause-
liked this one, so so yeah, I don't know. Maybe he knows more about it. Yeah, but yeah, like because I was looking up what the Battletoads actually were, like in the canon of the game, but I couldn't find anything, and this was the only thing that I actually found because it's just never explained if they're like bounty hunters or aliens or like nobody knows. It's just they're there. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so
I
yeah,
want to go
that's-
back to what you said about everyone just think that this is the port of the NES game, and it's a very natural thing to assume about the game, seeing how it got the exact same box art at the NES game.
Yeah, they didn't change that at all, sadly. I guess they just went with the assets they had. But yeah, there is at least the port of the NES game, Battletoads in Ragnarok's world, but that was like the fourth game that got released or something.
Yeah.
So it does exist, but it's just not the same game at all. But yeah, the Battletoads, there are three of them: Rash, Pimple, and Zitz.
Wonderful names.
Yeah. I've read some of the articles about how Battletoads got made, and a lot of people think that it was a ripoff of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because those were like super popular back then. I think it was at not the height of its popularity, because Turtles is still super popular. But it was certainly around that time that things like Street Sharks and stuff like that were being made, which were actual Turtles ripoffs. But this one tied more into the fact that one of the people responsible for making this game actually was a huge fan of Double Dragon. And Rare was just asked to make a beat 'em up, and they just made their own characters, basically, with some zany humor here and there. And they weren't really sure how to do this, because they wanted to make a beat 'em up, but they were working for Nintendo, and Nintendo was not really happy with violent content on their systems. So in order to kind of make it seem less violent, they went for a very cartoonish style to come up with the characters and the world surrounding it. So they didn't have like a real beat 'em up like people knew. Like Double Dragon wasn't NES, of course, but like there were a lot of other arcade beat 'em ups that were a lot more violent, like the Final Fight series and Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, one of my favorites, where it's like real humans fighting. So they came up with the Battletoads to avoid any conflict with Nintendo, actually.
Yeah, and that might be the reason for the like every stage is more or less its own genre, with the Turbo Tunnel in the NES version, the Wookiee Tunnel in the NES version, and stuff like that. So if it was only levels like the first level in both the NES version, the Game Boy version, maybe then Nintendo wouldn't have appreciated the series.
Yeah, it would have not made such a huge impact either. I think the variety in gameplay really makes it stand out between any other beat 'em ups, really. And the thing is, beat 'em ups are people never really talk about this, but they are split up in two different genres, at least in my opinion. You have like the normal beat 'em up, which is just constant beat 'em upping. There's nothing more to it. But then you have things like Double Dragon, where they introduce platforming sequences and things like that. Battletoads doesn't really do that, at least not at the start, but it just changes things up here and there just to make it a little bit more unique. So yeah, that's definitely where it shines. And yeah, most people just know Battletoads as one of the hardest games ever made, at least the NES version. It's on the top list for a lot of people. But yeah, that was all on purpose, because they just wanted to have people play the game a lot, basically. That was all part of the reason they did it.
I read something about when they actually made the NES game. Now we're just talking about the NES game, but we're getting to the Game Boy game. The NES game was the first game, so it's natural to talk some about that one as well. But according to the article I read, when they made a level in the NES game, they asked everyone in the office to play the level, and if someone beat it, they made it harder, and then it started over. Can you guys beat this level? Yeah, I beat it. Oh, fine. Then we need to make it harder. And that's one of the reasons why the difficulty is so cruel. Because no one at the office was gonna beat any of the levels. If it's
Yeah.
true, I don't know, but I know that I read an article about it.
Yeah, but most people will not remember Battletoads for their beat 'em up levels, to be honest, because those are actually the easy levels. But most people will remember it for the vehicle based levels or the like quote unquote different levels where you have to escape from something or have to do a platforming quote unquote puzzle and things like that. So those are the ones that stick out the most, at least. So
Yeah.
But yeah, diving into the game for Game Boy. The release dates, I'm not like super sure about these first two ones, but apparently it came out in the US first in 1991, and then in Europe. On February 25th, 1993. I'm not sure about the European release one. Like, I feel like that makes no sense.
1.5 years later is strange for sure. Especially
Yeah,
seeing
usually
how...
it's a few months.
Yeah, and Rare was in the UK as well.
Yeah, Rare was indeed a UK-based company. So yeah, we've said it before. This is a Rare game developed by Rare, the original team, who's now Playtonic. We've talked about Rare in the past, so I'm not gonna dive super deep into them. But it was published by Tradewest, and Tradewest had the Double Dragon IP tied to them and Battletoads, but these were based in Texas, so
All right.
it kind of makes sense that it would come out in the US first then, but I don't know, like, I'm really not sure about the European release date, especially not because I looked at the manual, I looked at the box art. They're the same for US and EU, that's not like a problem, but they all mention 1991, and I would assume it would say 93 somewhere for Europe, but yeah. So not sure about that, at least. But it did get
have been something with the violence in the game. I don't know. I'm just grasping here.
Yeah, could be. Now we'll never know unless somebody from Rare actually listens to the episode and
confirms it.
Yeah. So it did get a very late release in Japan. January 7, 1994. There it got published by a company called NSC, which I never really heard of, and looking at their list, it's mostly like very Japanese only games. I see some Ranma games on here, Langrisser. These are definitely just like Japanese titles. Like,
I'm
I've never
curious
played
now
any
though.
of them.
Have you actually played the Japanese version of this game?
I have not. No. Like, I don't know if it's different or anything.
Yeah, because I know that the Famicom version of the NES game, it's a lot easier. A lot of enemy changes in placements. You start with 2 more extra guys,
Right.
like bigger platforms, stuff like that in the Famicom version. And the Genesis version, another I think Master System as well, is actually based on the easier Famicom version. So now I really feel like I have to play this game tonight, the Japanese version, to see if there's any difference with this game fresh in memory.
Yeah, I did not even think about that. Yeah, usually we just go with it's probably the same game, but yeah.
Yeah, 99.9% of the time it's the same game with maybe a different title screen. But seeing how Rare changed the NES game, maybe they did something to this as well.
Yeah, it always surprises me. Like, most people think that Japanese version is the hard one, and then it gets ported to the US or Europe, and they get the easier version. But it worked the other way around as well. Like, games that were released solely in the US or in Europe that were so hard considered that when they eventually got a Japanese release, they were easier. So it's weird. Like, why can't we just have all the same difficulty? Like, who cares? Like,
yeah, and take Ninja Gaiden 3 on NES as an example as well. The Famicom version got a password and infinite continuous. The US version got 5 continuous, no password, and like double damage from every enemy in the game. That's not even fair. The
it's
Famicom
weird
version
how
is
they did
easy
it.
mode.
Yeah, same with Castlevania 3.
Exactly.
Yeah, easier in Japan, but harder in the US. And then you have Mario 2, which never came out in the US because it was considered too hard. Like, it's weird. I think just both sides never really understood what they wanted out of a game. But yeah, oh man. Developed by Rare, published by Tradewest or NSC, like I said, and the composer, as I mentioned before, David Wise, the incredible David Wise.
Yeah, like characters by Kevin Bayliss. He has designed the.
He designed the characters, yeah. And Paul Machaket. That's a hard name, like even for a European guy. I don't know how to actually pronounce it. Paul Mashakek, I would say it. So sorry if we butcher your name, but he was mostly responsible for making the entire Battletoads series, actually. But yeah, David Wise, I think we've talked about him in the past as well. Incredible composer. Like, together with Grant Kirkhope and Alberto Gonzalez, they're like the three names you will always hear when it comes to European composers. They're just incredibly talented people, and they're still making music to this day.
I've been to a convention in Sweden where both David Wise and Kevin Bayliss were in a panel talking about the music and how they worked at Rare and how David Wise got the job at Rare. Super interesting.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Maybe there's a YouTube video or something about
I'm sure there are tons on. They were coming to Sweden last spring as well, but the pandemic made that no conventions were ever held again, so understandable.
So if you don't know David Wise, you have never played a lot of good games. That's all I can say. Yeah, you will always recognize his compositions for sure. So that's the team behind the game. There's a lot more people involved, of course. Can't name them all. Let's dive into the plot of the actual game.
I didn't know the plot of the game before this episode, to be honest, because the game itself doesn't really tell you the meat and potatoes of the plot. You only get like what's happening in between the stages.
Yeah, like with most games, actually. Like, I think Ninja Gaiden was probably the best example of how to convey the story before the game starts. But usually you have to rely on the instruction manual, and luckily we have it. So I'll get through the story here. So again, this is a sequel to the original, but it's not really tied into the story at all or anything. But Toad napped. While partying on Lost Vega, a deep space leisure station, the three Battletoads Zitz, Rash, and Pimple get pleasantly sidetracked by Italian Torex dancer. Unfortunately, the dancer isn't what she appears to be, and soon reveals herself as the evil Dark Queen. The Toads fight valiantly against overwhelming odds but are eventually overpowered. Yet all is not lost. Although Rash and Pimple are taken prisoner, Zitz makes it to the Toadster and burns space back to the Vulture and Professor T-Bird, the Battletoads' mentor. Rash and Pimple are taken away in the Gargantua to the planet Armageddon, but luckily Zitz and the Professor are hot on their trail. So there's a situation, Zitz. The Dark Queen's toad-napped your best buddies. What are you gonna do about it? You're gonna get real mad, that's what you're gonna do, and then you're gonna get even. Professor Bird's gonna set you down on Armageddon, but from then it's up to you. You've got a long way to go, Zitz, into caverns, across swamps, and even through the belly of the dreaded worm. And ultimately, of course, you're gonna have to defeat the towering, the truly toad-splatting Romo Manus mutant. Have you got what it takes to be a bona fide Battletoad? We'll soon see, one way or another.
So, I'm curious about two things reading this plot here. Did they get a lap dance from the Dark Queen? And
Probably.
How did they know that they had to go through the belly of the dreaded worm? Is that like the official road to whatever place they are ending up to?
Sure, or it's got eaten. I don't know.
Like I got questions about, but what retro game doesn't give you more questions than answers?
Oh boy, yeah. Well, that's just the Battletoads way. Like it's zany. It doesn't make much sense, but it's
It doesn't
amazing.
have to. Do you have a favorite Toad, by the way?
Not really, because like they all feel the same, at least in the Game Boy versions. You know, like I never really played the NES or SNES or arcade versions, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have a favorite, to be honest.
Yeah, I always like Pimple, the brute, the big one.
Right.
Like he's the brown or orange or yellow or whatever you call him. I think it's the coolest of the bunch for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know. No.
I'm a Pimple guy. Don't take that out of context.
Yeah, no favorite for me. Maybe if I play once where I actually have a difference between them.
Yeah. But I know that your favorite is Dark Queen if you had to choose one of them.
That's true. That's true. She is amazing. And you can play as her in a new one, so I should probably check it out. But, yeah. So yeah, let's dive into the actual gameplay. Yeah, I've added this because we never mentioned it, but now we have already mentioned it. But I just figured out, like, we've been doing this for almost 3 years, and we never really say the genre of the game when we get into it. So
and then we get to this game that has like not a defined genre.
Yeah,
it's not
indeed.
an RPG or a traditional platformer. It's a beat 'em up / arcade style with vehicle stages thingy going on.
Yeah, it's what you would say an action game. So there's a lot of action in it. Yeah, weird terms, gameplay, genres is it's hard to define for some games. But yeah, this is beat 'em up and arcades, even shmup basically as well. Like it's everything. So it offers a lot of variety. The controls of this game, pretty simple. A jumps, hold A to jump higher. Works the same on some vehicles. B does a punch or uses a weapon. There aren't that many weapons in this one, and I prefer not to use them actually.
Yeah, the weapons are weak, I'd say.
They're not really good. Because the game really depends on you to combo enemies to do the most damage, and the way you do that actually is really good. You just hold the button instead of mashing the button. I like that way more than actually mashing the button.
You can mash if you wanna.
You can, but you do less damage because a normal enemy basically takes a lot of normal hits, but if you do the combo, it only takes like 2 combos basically, or sometimes 1. To take them out. And apparently there's some really nice names for the attacks. We
got. I'll take half of them and you can take the rest. So we got. What if people that listen to this haven't played the Battletoads series? They got a pretty interesting thing to their attacks where the final attack in a combo, if you like punch someone off a platform or into the ground, their hands, their feet, their head, their limbs, whatever, can turn into like everything. From their hand can be a very, very big hand or a sledgehammer that just pummels them away, or like their naked toad foot can look like a big spiked boot, and they can even grow ram horns when they are tackling the enemies. So if you don't know that about the Battletoads, these names we are gonna read for you might be a little more. You can picture what is happening to the toad right now. So we got the Bigfoot. That's obviously the boot I was talking about. We got the Jawbuster. I don't know what that's about. We got the Anvil Slam. And I think we only see that one in the swamp level, where they bash their head against the ground to kill the enemies, turning the head into an actual anvil. We got the big bad boot. Oh, that's the boot. That's not the Bigfoot. Oh, my bad. And then we got the kiss my fist. That's a very good attack, I think.
Yeah. Oh man. But that's not all. We have more. We have the drop the chop, which I have no. That's probably the axe or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it might just be when you have the axe.
Could be.
Yeah. You have the jet ski swing. That's when you actually use your jet ski to punch an enemy.
Yeah, imagine this. You're going down a river, and then you grab your jet ski, and you pull it up in the air, and you bash the enemies, and then you place it in the water underneath the toad again. It's a pretty unique move.
Yeah. It kind of looks like if you play Tony Hawk and one of the special moves is called the Superman, where you like stretch your arms out and you have your plank right in your board, whatever, right in front of you. That's kind of it, but you use it to bash. Then you have the BT bashing ball. That's when you're going down the rope. You can turn into a weight, or this is just a ball, I guess. You got the Battletoad butt. I don't know which one this is. But
I have no clue what the Battletoad butt is all about.
Apparently, you get a huge butt or something. And then you have the nuclear knuckles. I don't know.
Very unsure about that one as well. Maybe the jump attack. I don't know. No.
That could be. Yeah. So yeah, those are the moves. They're just fun names for when they kind of transform. So it's great. So yeah, those are the moves. You can do a run by double tapping. It doesn't really work that way for me. Like,
it's. I don't think like you have to be very precise on the timing, or maybe the game doesn't it drops frames or something when you're trying to run. I don't know. Yeah, it's finicky for sure.
Yeah, at least in this one I don't get the run. Like in the other ones I can do it because then I use that for destroying the enemies. But yeah, I don't know what a run does here. Like it's not very useful anyway. So start pauses the game and select doesn't do anything as far as I know, unless it's in the menu.
It might skip a cutscene prompt.
Select no function says the manual.
Okay,
so yeah,
okay,
no function.
One thing to notice about this game is I played a lot of NES Battletoads before playing this one. And in NES Battletoads, it's all about ramming the enemy. You're using the double tap run all the time, ramming the enemies or tackling the enemies. But in this one, it takes a little while to understand that attack is pretty useless, actually, in this game.
Yes.
Just like we said, it's pretty strange to run by double tapping. So you will go for like the regular combo, or even just spamming out that jumping attack. That's nothing you can do in like the NES game as well. It's a pretty unique move for this first Game Boy game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something I definitely didn't realize at the start again when replaying this game, because the latest ones I've played were Battletoads Double Dragon and Ragnarok's World, where the dash is the most important attack you have in the game, and I totally forgot that this game doesn't work like this. So in this one you really want to do the jump punch. It's the best thing you have. It destroys everything in 2 or 3 hits. And it will come into play for the bosses as well, which we will get to. So yeah, let's go over the stages. There are 8 of them, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 8 stages indeed. And they're all actually super short stages. Like, if you played another Battletoads game, they usually go on for quite a while. But in this one, they're all basically 1.5 stages if you're going fast.
Yeah, they're bite-sized.
Yeah, they're really short in this one, which I also forgot about after playing the other 2 games, because they're a lot longer in that one, for sure. The stages don't really have any names as far as I could find, so I just set something. Doesn't matter. First off, you start at the cliffs. It's just a rocky path. Something you would immediately recognize if you're playing a Battletoad game. It always starts at like these kind of cliff stages. Like you can jump up some things, but nah, nothing really special. You just have to get to the right side, and that's basically it. There's no gaps to jump over or anything like that. It's a very simple stage.
Yeah, and it's the same in the NES version, and it's the same in the SNES version. It's a very traditional first stage of a Battletoads game.
Yeah. You would immediately encounter your first enemy of the game called the Psycho Pig. It's like a big pig who wields an axe. You could take the axe from him. He drops it after you've defeated him, but I would recommend not doing that because it makes it a lot harder.
Just keep with the jump punching.
Yeah.
When you get that one, when you got that one under control, that's like half the game beaten already.
Yeah, indeed. There's some more enemies that you come across. One called the Grog. Another one, the Grog. I don't know.
Yeah, I like the name, the Grog. They're like, oh, it's Friday evening. Let's have a grog.
Yeah. No, the manual says just a baby darkling, but the only rattle you'll hear will be the sound of your teeth as they collide with its fists.
Yeah, so, very nice.
They look a lot weirder in the game than in the manual, but there's also the red zaps, which are rats in like a spaceship trying to shoot you. And then the clubba only appears twice. It's just an arm with a club that comes out of a cave. I hate
that one is killing everyone playing the game for the first time.
Yeah, I hate those things. I don't know what the hitbox is on those.
Yeah, it's a very strange like rhythm to hit them, and they are gonna hit you.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, they're really easy to hit you with their combo. It's weird. But yeah, it's a pretty short pace up into the boss, who in this case is General Slaughter, which is a huge bull, I think, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, he should be a bull.
Yeah, I think it's a bull. And yeah, like we mentioned, here comes your jump punch into play. For some reason, you can really juggle bosses when jump punching. They fly up in the air and you can keep them afloat. For a pretty good while, they might drop down. But you can probably just rush your way through them by jump punching without them ever attacking you. Especially this first one, he doesn't do much if you don't let him.
If you by mistake let him land, you will probably grab him in a grapple by mistake, and then you will just throw him away, and you can keep juggling him with the jump punches. So I have only defeated this boss in this way. I can't remember trying to defeat him in any other way.
You just immediately start doing that because this is the strongest thing I have, so of course I'm gonna use it.
So I don't know, maybe the axe is super good against him. I wouldn't know. I don't keep the axe.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, it's really simple. Like, usually what you expect from beat 'em up bosses that you have to like do a certain pattern or something like that, and they do have patterns. That's not the problem. So they could have a cool pattern that you need to avoid or something, but you just jump and punch. Like that's all you do. Like, I don't know. It's weird. So yeah, once you've beaten General Slaughter, you go into basically a shoot 'em up stage.
Yeah.
So you're on a rocket and you can shoot with your B button. That's all you can do.
You can charge the shot as well. You can hold B to actually make a big blast.
Yeah. The stage is divided into sections, so you have to survive each section or otherwise you're going to be sent back to the checkpoint, I guess. So the first part of the stage is just small enemies trying to attack you. I don't know which ones they are. I don't see them.
I think if you scroll down in the manual, they are called flappers. They fly directly at you in vast hordes. Be prepared to do some fancy blasting
Oh,
if you expect
the
to survive the onslaught. So it's just birds attacking the toads. Or, well, the toad sits.
Yeah, I didn't see these because they didn't have pictures. So yeah, these are... pretty sure the pattern of them is random.
I'd say that as well.
Yeah, I think because I looked at the speed run before recording, so I think they're completely random. But yeah, you can shoot them or you can just avoid them, whatever, until you reach the checkpoint, and then you face off against some kind of spaceship thingy called the Auto Guardian. You can shoot it normally; it opens up before it tries shooting you. But if you have a charged shot, you can basically destroy it in one hit. It's a little in-between thing. After that, you basically go into the turbo tunnel of this game.
If you
and it's super easy. Like,
yeah, you get prompts on the screen where to move, and you should have no problem at all beating this part of the game.
Yeah, it's like really easy compared to Turbo Tunnel and other things like that. It's very easy to avoid. After that, you face off against...
It's another Auto Guardian, right?
Maybe it's the Auto Guardian. Either it's that or it's the Rodent Rockets, which are just rats on a rocket. Same deal, you can just shoot them or avoid them.
Yeah, I usually stay on top of the screen or south of the screen and just shoot a straight line. And if I see that a rodent won't get hit because it's a pixel too high about my shot, I just like go up a couple of pixels and shoot him down. So it's a super easy section as well.
Yeah, they only take one hit, so they're easy to take care of. I think there are 27 of them in total before you reach the checkpoint. So you can start counting if you want to. Yeah. And after that, you go into the boss fight of this stage, which is... this is Rodent Rocker. Wait, now I'm confused. This is
it was bat rats, I think.
Bat rats were the... Yeah. So, Rodent Rocket is the boss of this game, who is a rat in a spaceship. Weirdly enough, he doesn't have a hitbox. That's what I found out. So you can basically fly into him if you want to. The only thing that actually hurts you during the boss fight is the projectiles that he's shooting at you. So, but yeah, the way this fight works, just like any shoot 'em up, you have to destroy all the parts of this spaceship, and then he gets destroyed. If you are good at mashing, this will be over very quickly.
Yeah.
First, you have to take care of the 3 smaller guns on his ship, and then he reveals his final weapon, I guess. But yeah, if you're good at mashing, you can definitely get through this very quickly. I must say, this is a hard part to mash. I'm a pretty good masher, but
it's harder than the first part for sure.
Yeah, it takes a lot of hits, and I don't know. It wears you out pretty quickly.
One very interesting part about this boss fight is that you get a health refill before he spawns.
Before it, yeah.
And that's
true.
Yeah, because when you have beaten like the level just before the boss, the screen goes blank. So I guess it just loads a new part of the game.
Yeah.
But when we fought General Slaughter, he stands at the end of a level waiting for us.
Mm-hmm,
so I guess that is why we are getting the health refill. But it's a welcome health refill. I don't mind it.
Yeah, if you had some troubles during the earlier part of the stage, it's definitely welcome to have full health for a boss. But yeah, again, pretty simple boss. Mashing helps you out. It's harder if you don't know how to mash properly, because then you have to start dodging a lot of shots that he fires at you, so...
and you can shoot his projectiles. So if you're good at mashing, you will eventually win that tug of war, and just his projectiles will go away in your mashing barrage.
Well, Well, yeah, that takes care of our second stage of the game. After that, I call it hell. I don't know what it is. Like it's like a cave, I think, with some fire or
it's
something.
like small like campfires, and we got some. What are those things called that Tarzan is swinging about?
Vines, ropes.
Yeah, vines.
Like they're not vines, but like they're yeah. I don't know. They're weird.
But here,
for sure.
the music here, oh my god, I love the third stage song. It's such a great tune.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah, I just get a smile on my face every time I get to the third level.
Yeah, this is the one I always start humming with.
Yeah.
Like automatically for no reason. Like I just can't stop myself.
So now we get to encounter some new enemies. The classic rats, the giblets. Because we had pigs in the first stage, and now on the third stage we get to fight giblets and the tornadoes.
Yeah.
So we actually punch away tornadoes coming at us.
Yeah, because why not? Like just a
we're
tornado.
toads in space. We do whatever we want.
And you also have the crunchas in this stage.
Yeah, I really love the manual telling us it's a terrifying mix of a kangaroo and a walrus.
Yeah.
And looking at the picture, I cannot see the kangaroo and I cannot see the walrus here.
Nope, not at all. Like wow, it doesn't look like anything really.
It's just it's a big jaw with a little stumpy body and two legs.
Yeah, it looks like why can't I come up with the name of those movies now? Tremors. There we go. Yeah, it looks like one of the tremor worms, but like shorter and with two legs. That's basically what the crunch is.
So if it's a kangaroo, where does it have the child in the mouth with the teeth? Or this manual is
questions.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, questionable description of this thing, but let's just say it's really good.
It's a cruncher.
Yeah. But this is it's a harder stage because of the platforming, really. There's a lot of holes you have to be aware of. Some platforms are really short. It's easy to fall in. Definitely if you're running too fast. So take your time with the platforming. And you'll be fine. Like with the vines, if they are vines, only jump off after the camera has moved to the platform and things like that. So this is just basically teaching you how to platform.
And one very welcome thing about this game, we have so far not seen a timer. You can take all the time you want in the stages so far.
Yep. So
it's not like
easy enough.
It's not like Super Mario Land where you have to get in goal in a certain amount of time.
Yeah. So, yeah. Take your time until you run into the boss of this stage, the Darkling, which is, I think, a flying crunch, basically.
Yeah.
I think it's just a flying crunch. It has two phases, if I remember correctly. I just played it. I
can lock him down so that he will only do one of the phases.
Yeah, just like the previous boss. Jump and punch. Just jump and punch. That's all you need to do.
If you compare him to General Slaughter himself couldn't hurt you with body contact. He actually had to punch you or grab you.
Yeah.
But with this flying cruncher, body contact will send you flying. So thankfully, the jumping punch, your hand gets very big. It's very easy to hit him, but body contact will damage you quite a lot, actually.
Yes.
So you will have to be careful how you fight this guy, because he will start swooping down at you and come from different sides of the screen and stuff like that.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so definitely keep your distance. Instead of jumping forward, just jump straight up.
Yeah.
So you avoid getting hit by him. But it's still a pretty easy boss. Like, again, the bosses in this game are not really that hard to deal with. So
if we didn't have the jump punch, the bosses would have been a lot different.
Yes,
from a difficulty
absolutely.
Side.
Yeah, but that's definitely a beat 'em up trope. There is always one move
Yeah.
that just destroys everything, always. So you just have to figure it out. And for this one, it's really easy to figure out. So yeah, that's stage 3, hell, whatever. So after that, we end up in a swamp. This is a mix of a stage. It basically half a normal stage with some platforming and beating things, and half a water scooter stage. So it switches around. During the first part, you come across something that's on the ground, but leeches apparently.
Yeah.
That you have to punch pretty easy.
Well, you have to skull bash them with your anvil head attack.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty easy to avoid those. The platforming is a little bit harder because you have to basically jump on some rocks that go in and out of the water. But yeah, it's pretty alright. Like it's only like 5 jumps or something, and you're done with that part of the game, anyways.
And again, you're not on a timer, so take your time. The jumps are easy if you just take it easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, then you go into the second part of the stage, which is on the scooter.
Yeah, and it's business as usual. I don't really remember the exact order. Is it? Or we're back to the section thingy with the spaceship on stage 2. So the first section, is it the logs you're supposed to dodge up and you more or less go up and down every other log that comes into the screen, but as it goes a little bit faster, you need to like stay up at 2 logs and then you swoop down. And if you make a mistake, you can actually jump in this part as well.
Yeah.
So if you're unsure that you will hit the log or not, you can just like take a chance and jump, and you might not take the damage. And this is a very strange thing about the game as well, because if you die in the beat 'em up sections, you will respawn exactly where you died. But all of a sudden, the game throws these like sections at you that you have to complete like perfectly, or else you will have to do the section over and over again.
Yeah, and the thing to notice about the jump, you can stay in the air for a long time on these things. Like, I don't know how he does it, but you can really, really stay up in the air for a long time. You will go down eventually, but yeah, you can avoid a lot of obstacles just by hovering, basically. So yeah, first part is indeed the logs. Then I believe the whirlpools.
Yeah, I'd say the whirlpools.
Yeah. Then there's like these tentacles coming out of the water, and then you have to avoid 2 rats in a boat, basically. And
yeah, that part is just stupid because
that is just a very stupid part.
And you are moving so fast, so yeah, I don't know. they are just stupid. Those enemies. They don't contribute to. They don't even try to hit you. They just have like a pattern.
Yeah, they're having a stroll at the river. They're called the red dinghies, and I love how the manual says you'll need all the skill and agility you can muster to get past these river-based road. No, you don't. you really don't.
Excellent description.
Oh boy. Well, yeah, after that you come across the boss of this stage called the Wicked Worm. So yeah, Wicked Worm. Guess what you need to do for this guy?
You actually don't have to jump here. You can only punch here.
No, you jump.
I don't jump. I just stand still at the
you
same
can
spot
do that
and
as
mash.
well, yeah. It kind of depends on what height he is.
Alright.
Because he does lengthen his neck around. But yeah, you can just punch him until he croaks. He has 2 forms as well. One is attached to his body. The other one is just a flying head. Yeah, it's jump and punch or punch. Like, just keep your distance, just like with the Darkling, because body contact will hurt.
If you stay to the left of the screen, I think he will cause you trouble, because then he will start attacking, I guess. But if you stay like really close to him and you just mash the B button or A and B button, then he will just go back and forth like he will wiggle back and forth, and his life bar will go down faster than anything in this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then again, he get hits with a jet ski. I guess that hurts.
Yeah, I would think so. Absolutely. But yeah, again, bosses are very simple in this game once you know how to exploit their not even their weakness, like your strength, I guess. How to exploit your strength.
Something like that.
Yeah, so very easy. So apparently the wicked worm eats you, even though we killed him. So we're in the worm now.
Yeah.
And I called this the boulder race, but apparently it's his brain. It's the worm's brain.
It's just strange. And I call this the casual player game over, because you're gonna get a game over here, probably.
Absolutely. So this is the stage that will make or break you the very first time you come across, or even the subsequent 4 times.
Yeah.
The boulder race kind of resembles, if you've played the NES Battletoads, the one where you're on that scooter where something is chasing you. So it needs precise inputs, basically, in order to stay ahead of the brain that's following you. It's basically a maze where you go through. You have to navigate through it. It goes up, down, left, right, wherever you want it to be. And you have to just be really quick about it. Like, you have to remember where to go, or just know how to react very fast.
Yeah.
A big thing about this one, and I don't know if it's because of the brain bouncing at like making the ground wiggle, or that it's just because, and we haven't talked about this, but I will come back to it at the end of the stage part, because sometimes the inputs don't really do what they need to do. So the jumping up sections in this part can be really hard if your jump just gets cancelled immediately.
Yeah, I think that your input gets eaten, because you can see the screen shaking all the time with the brain bouncing at you. So I'd say maybe once every 30th frame, you cannot press the A button to jump or something like that, and your input just get eaten, and then it's too late. Because this stage is a time trial, more or less.
Yeah.
A reversed time trial, because you're chased. So you will fail faster, because you will get killed by the brain. If it was a regular time trial, you actually know, oh, I was 5 seconds too slow, I need to go faster. But here you actually get defeated if you don't make the cut.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's probably the longest stage in the game just because of this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a set maze you have to go through, and you have to reach the end.
And the brain actually got a life bar here.
Yeah, indeed. Like, every time he bounces, he destroys himself, basically. It's a weird setup, but yeah, it works for Battletoads because we're used to stages like this, I know. So this is a very tough stage, for sure. Especially if you're not familiar with the series and you're just playing this for the first time. This will give you a lot of trouble. There's no checkpoints or anything. You have to get through it in one go, or you have to restart the entire thing. Good news is there's no boss, at least, because the boss is chasing you, basically. so the moment you reach the end, it is over, though.
Yeah, I know what I did when I tried to learn this part of the game, is that there is, I don't know if it's spikes or fangs, or there's some spiky things going on in the tunnel that's just decor, kind of. But you can start counting those if you know there's a tight turn coming. Then you can, like, oh, it's 4 of those spiky things here. Then I jump to the right. It's 2 spiky things. So it's just not it's not a bland tunnel. You can actually see like patterns and remember stuff about it. It's a good casual player hint for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the biggest time save, well, not the biggest thing you can do to get ahead and give yourself some room for failure later on is with the drops, basically. Just try to stay in the middle and just wiggle a little bit left and right, and you will fall down a big part of the stage. It's like right at the start. There's already one of those descents where you just have to like press left, right, and you fall down completely. The brain cannot do that. It has to bounce on every side, so that will give you a lot of time to mess up later. So there's two parts of those in this stage. So that's definitely a big help, but it will take practice. If you haven't done it before, if this is the first time you're seeing it, this will probably game over you for sure.
Yeah, I replayed the game before this recording, and I died once at the boulder race or the brain race or whatever, just because I haven't done it for 2 years. But the second attempt I got no problem at all. I remember.
Yeah, for me, like I had to play the game twice to get to the end. First time I died at the final boss, but the first time I did the boulder race, I forgot that this was even in the game, and I was like, oh no, this boulder race, and I just did it. Like, no problems whatsoever. I didn't even see the boulder on the screen. So, the brain. I was like, wow, I really remember this. So there's something in your brain that just clicks when you have done it. You know what to do then. So...
Yeah,
even after so
a
many
lot of
years,
games got that thing that when you get on the other side of the barrier, you get it every time.
Yeah.
And this is one of those stages. Like when you have beaten it the first time, you will get it almost every time after that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you do have some troubles with this stage, really can't get past it. I'll come back to it later. Yeah. We can talk a little bit more about it then. But there are some things you could do, possibly.
Buy a game genie.
or that, yeah, but no. You don't need that.
eBloodyCandy told me that in the accessory episode of This is Game Boy.
True, yeah. Buy a game genie, yeah. No, it's a little simpler than that, so or less costly, I guess. So yeah, brain done. Time for the what I call the chasm descent, but maybe you're just going through the bowels of the worm now. I have no idea anymore what these levels
like
are.
Enemies in his
Yeah.
I'm
whatever.
not gonna ask more questions from this point.
So yeah, this is also very typical of Battletoads. You descend down a long vertical tunnel on a rope.
Yeah, it's
That's
the Wookiee tunnel
basically...
from the NES version, and the SNES version got a similar stage as well.
Yeah. Oh, pretty simple stage. Very short, actually. Like, this is super short. You only come across a few enemies in this. Like, there's the bat rats? No, the ravens. The ravens do drop their beak, which you can use as a weapon, which I do suggest. Like, it makes it a little bit easier. Unlike the other Battletoads games, you cannot use it to juggle enemies, though. So, enemies just die in one hit with this thing.
But I got a thing about this tunnel that I know that everyone that plays it the first time don't realize. Because you got the punch. It's the same as the NES version. And you got the raven beak. Same as the NES version. But you also got a downward kick. And seeing how we're going down in a tunnel, and we got a big ass foot in the southern part of the toad, you can just spam that kick button to tomorrow. Later in the stage, we will face Snotball, and those actually instant kill you. Yeah. but the downward kick, like the entire foot of the toad, is invulnerable. So you can just spam those Snotballs without even have to worry about the instant kills. And I'm pretty sure when I played this the first time, it took me many tries until I actually even pressed the A button to try does
Yeah,
that button do
I
anything?
never did. I never knew. So this is
Yeah,
news to
the
me.
downward kick is amazing. It kills everything. You know, there's also those rats trying to cut your wire
Yes,
with the scissors.
with the blue. Yeah.
And that's a bit risky with the punch. But again, with the downward kick, you're not even in
Yeah.
harm's way.
Yeah, never knew about it. There
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go. Finding out new things. Amazing. Yeah.
And we have the Dark Queen's favorite enemy here as well. Or well, the Dark Queen's favorite, I don't even know this word, horticultural menace.
I have no idea what horticultural is, but
The Saturn toad trap. Those plant things trying to eat you. Beware, it's quick and hungry and can big mean trouble to a passing toad. But then again, we have our secret weapon, the downward kick, that kicks the shit out of everything.
yeah. See, I learned a thing I never knew. Yeah, that's it's a good tip for sure. Yeah. But yeah, it's a very short descent, like I mentioned. There's some obstacles in your way that you have to avoid, but nothing too hard to.
Yeah, we got some spikes, we
avoid.
got some enemies, we got some.
And at the bottom, you come across Big Black, the chief of the rodent army. So all those rats you have been
classic
defeating, yeah, that's the chief. Guess what? You jump and you punch, and you win.
But you actually have to move around here quite a bit.
Yeah, you cannot juggle him indefinitely in this one for sure. Yeah,
Cause like the flying crusher had you hit on body contact. General Slaughter didn't have body contact hits. Big Black doesn't have it per se, but he can ground pound you, kind of like Mario. So if he jumps around, being such a big guy, he jumps a lot. And if he will land on the toad, you will instant die as well. So you will have to get a rhythmic jumping, punching going on, so you don't get instant killed by his jumps.
yeah, absolutely. There is a way to like push him into the corner, and then you can just keep on going.
Oh, I've never
without-
seen. Is it part of the speedrun? Maybe.
I think so. Like when I was looking at it, he failed doing it, but he mentioned it that you can put him in a corner.
Because I
but
always jump to the left and to the right all the time too. Like.
Yeah, indeed. Like it's a pretty simple one. Just go beneath him and do the same thing. Like again, it's a very simple boss, just like all the other ones. So you don't have to worry about it. So that takes care of the descent stage, and now we come across stage 7.
I will never understand this level. I will never grasp the circular platforms here.
Yeah. So again, we don't know the names of these stages, and that's why I just call this one the stupid ass X platforms.
Or SAP, for short.
Yeah. Man, I hate this stage. Like, I think this is the worst stage in any Battletoads game ever made.
You got a circular platform with a pole in the middle. So when you jump on it and you press right, you go down the pole. But if you press left, you don't run to the left of the platform. You run a northern lap of the pole.
Yeah.
But if you
Somehow
keep
you go
pressing
around the
right,
pole.
you will run in circles. So, and then we got spinning axe on the poles everywhere.
Yeah. So this stage is basically all platforming and avoiding these axes that spin around like a pole, like a stripper's pole or something. Like, I mean, they just spin around that. And yeah, suddenly you have this 3D mechanic to how you're walking, and like I have no idea how to actually play this stage.
No,
to be perfectly honest.
And so far the platforming has been okay because we don't have any time limit, and we don't have a timer on these levels as well. But you got axes swirling about the poles, so you want to get off those platforms ASAP, and then you will make mistakes because the axes are just eating your health away, and they are eating your lives away, and then all of a sudden you use another continue, which you only have 3 of, right?
3, yeah, indeed.
So you got a total of 12 lives?
Yeah,
yeah.
We haven't mentioned this before, but like the way this game works with lives and things is a little bit different than in any other Battletoads game. Like in the other Battletoads game, you have ways to like farm 1-ups basically, and I think you have 5 continues in each one, or maybe not.
NES got 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's more than 3 for sure. I'm pretty sure about that. So you have the opportunity to have a lot of lives if you know how to get them. There are tricks to that, and even score gives you lives after a while. This one doesn't. You just have 3 lives per continue, or 4 lives per continue.
I think it's 3 and 4 continues.
Yeah. No,
the hearts
like you're limited at least, and if you reach this stage, I hope you have a lot of them left, or you're just really good at time platforming, because it is not fun to get through it. Like the way I play it, I just go. Yeah. I don't even care about the hits. I just go as fast as possible, taking as little damage as possible, and yeah, that's the only way I know how to deal with this stage. And like I said, I looked at the speedrun, basically the same deal, but I think it's a global timer, so you can kind of know where everything is gonna be. But yeah, these axes, if they hit you 3 times, you lose a life. You can get stuck on them indefinitely if you're just taking your time, so there's no point in doing that. You just have to go. And then because of that 3D revolving around the bowl, if you jump at the wrong time, you're not level with the next platform, so you just jump next to it basically, and you lose. It's a mess. This is just a mess of a stage. Absolutely.
Sometimes it looks like you're gonna make the jump, and the toad just falls in front of the platform. It looks like he falls through it, but thanks to the 3D perspective, you were too low on the screen, or too high on the screen,
or too high,
make the jump.
Yeah, so it's weird.
For being a very good game in general, this stage is kinda weak.
Yeah.
But they tried something new. They had a vision, I guess, and I don't know, maybe they ran out of time to perfect the jumping mechanics. It was too big of an apple to bite or something.
Yeah, I really don't know where this came from, but yeah, apparently the axes are called the Banshee blades. Sure, they suck.
I love it that the manual gave us a picture of the Banshee blades that are, and we don't give a picture of the snippers, the gaseous balloon enemies. Or it's not that the same.
No, the snippers are the rats with the balloons.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't read.
I'm not sure which ones these are.
Because they are looking like
it's
crunchers, but inflated.
Yeah. So there's only one type of enemy on this stage, and I think it's called the Muto Cabbage. The nasty result of a failed experiment, looking for some toad to blame.
There was another. I didn't see the final page of the manual.
Yeah, I think it's that one. But to give you an example of what it looks like, if you've ever seen the TV movie The Langoliers, which is based on the Stephen King book, you know exactly what this looks like.
I don't know what that is, but
yeah. Well, you've seen the game version, so it's that. That's a Langolier, and it's funny because I was looking at the. I mentioned it when I was replaying it on stream, and I was looking at the speedrun, and he was also, these damn Langoliers. So if you've not seen the Langoliers, by the way, definitely do so.
I need my Mewtwo Cabbage in my life now.
Yeah. So that's the only enemy we will come across. I think there's 4 in total or something. They do a lot of damage if they hit you, though. So
but you know what? How do you defeat them? jump and punch.
Jump and punch, for sure. You definitely don't want them swooping, because that's not a good thing
No.
there. No. But yeah, after some stupid Banshee blades dodging and platforming and knocking Langoliers out of the way, you come across the big bat rat, General Vermin.
And he's more or less General Slaughter, but with a bigger life bar and a whip.
Yeah. Indeed.
And a rat.
And yeah, there's some intricate trick to defeating this boss, and it's called Jump and Punch.
And sometimes by mistake you will grab him.
Yeah.
Throw him away.
Yeah, it's basically the same boss again.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sure they do unique stuff, but you never see it if you just jump and punch. So, yeah.
I'll take it. It's okay.
All right. Now, yeah, that's stage 7, and now we're on to the final stage. And I don't hate this stage, but I also do not really like it, to be honest.
My note, you wrote the name of the stage, Jetpack Race. But my name of the stage is Stress Incarnated. Because now we have a timer. We have to defeat enemies on timer. We're having a jetpack on the toad's back, and we're going vertically, like a shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to shoot down. Let me see, the enemy's name were droid vaders, robotic invader type aggressors, known to pattern themselves after their famous heroes. So yeah, they are space invaders, but
Yep. This is again a weird stage to do. Like I said, I don't hate it, but yeah.
You got 10 seconds to live to actually.
The problem with the stage is the timer, really.
Yeah, the problem of the stage is the timer.
Yeah, it's indeed a very tight timer for this section. And as there are no checkpoints or anything, it makes it really stressful to get through it, for sure. The game wants you to speed up, because if you just go the normal speed, you will never reach the end at all. But the problem is you still have to dodge every obstacle in your way. Those are actually easily avoidable. You have like these crushers and the electrical currents and things like that. Those are pretty easy to dodge, but because you're going so fast, you tend to just fly into the ceiling a lot.
Thankfully, you got a life bar, because a one-hit kill on this level would have been too brutal. There's a lot of memorization going on. You can press down on the D-pad to actually stop the toad mid-air. But then again, you're on such a tight timer, you don't ever want to press down to stop the toad to avoid damage. It's just better to take the damage and hope that the life bar will get you through. And it will not get you through if you're making like more than 3 mistakes or something.
Yeah, I think you can take 4 hits in total, indeed, to get through it. It wouldn't be as bad if the progression of the stage didn't stop when you come across those space invaders, because then you have to take them down. And you really need to be fast about it, because otherwise you're going to lose a lot of time. And you have to shoot them basically twice, like once to destroy their big version, and then one to destroy their little version. At the start of these parts, they are standing still, and that is your time to do it quickly, because if they start moving and they're the tiny ones, it's so hard to just line up with them again.
Yeah, if they move, you have to reposition, because you got a gun, obviously. We haven't really mentioned it, but you're supposed to shoot these guys down. So if they are going to the right, then you will have to like shoot them a little bit to the right, so the tiny enemy that spawns from the big guy dying, he's not that big, he's just a projectile style size. But if you shoot him to the left, then the tiny enemy will outrun you to the right, and you will lose precious seconds that you actually need to escape the jetpack stage. So yeah, this stage is gonna take some practice, and with the limited continues, you will get this courage here for sure.
Yeah. But it's it's not a good stage. It's a very cool concept for a stage, but yeah, the timer kind of breaks it, especially the first time you're coming across this.
Yeah, because the life bar does it challenging enough, so we would have a little bit of trouble with the stage if the timer was gone and we had the life bar to consider. But now we got both.
Yeah.
But yeah, you will get past it eventually, and then you can go back to the beginning of the game and listen to some nice music while you get back to stage 8 again.
Yeah. Again, like with all the other stages, these stages are super short.
Yeah.
By the way, but yeah, this one and the previous one are like really keeping you away from beating the game because of good ideas that were not implemented very well, basically.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, after that, it's time for the final boss of the game, Robo-Manus. And he's a little bit different than the other bosses. It's no more jumping and punching this time around.
You can't even hit them with a regular attack. You
indeed.
actually have to pick up the mallet, hammer, that conveniently is placed in the same room as Robo-Manus.
Yeah, and Robo-Manus is not like any other bosses where you just have to, where he's moving around the screen and you have to hit him. No, he's a stationary enemy with 3 parts you have to destroy. And yes, you have to destroy all 3 of them. Because
thankfully, if Robo-Manus defeats you, you lose a guy at him, you don't have to do the jetpack race again.
Yeah.
You actually keep on beating him. So even if you've like say destroyed one of his arms and you die, you just continue there like the regular beat 'em up stages, and you can continue to destroy the other parts of him.
Indeed. So Robo-Manus has basically 2 attacks. Both his arms have a gun that shoot at you. There is not really a safe zone, but sometimes you get lucky enough that you can stand in one place for a very long time and he will just not hit you, basically. So you just want to find a good position and start hammering away at one of the arms, and then go over to the other arm. So that shouldn't be a problem. Meanwhile, he's also, I think, spitting out something.
I always thought it looked like Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is exactly, but there's something flying in an arc coming towards you, but it's not homing in on you. Like it has a set arc. Most of the time, again, it will probably not hit you, but if you get unlucky, it will constantly hit you. I think you can only take like 2 hits from it before you lose a life, so it is a very scary fight if you don't have a lot of lives.
For sure. Yeah,
but if
you got like say 1 extra continue with all the 3 guys there intact, and maybe 1 or 2 guys, then the fight is more or less free if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you can more or less just tank him all the way through.
Indeed, yeah. I think the last playthrough I did it, he only killed me once. So it's kind of RNG dependent if you will get hit. But unlike the jump, punch, mash that you do, here you just mash the B button as fast as you can to destroy the parts, basically. And it's a simple boss, but it just does a lot of damage. That's pretty much the big part of this boss.
And there you go. You beat the game.
Yeah.
Robo-Manus.
Sadly, no Dark Queen fight.
Yeah, where is she? Is she off lap dancing again?
Probably.
I don't know.
She does show up in the cutscenes again. But, you defeated me, but this will not be the last time. But yeah, I can see why they didn't do the Dark Queen, because it was the sequel, and doing the same final boss again would have been boring maybe, but yeah. I mean, she shows up in the other games, so...
and like, Robomanus is the 8th boss in the NES game, and he's one of the later bosses in the Double Dragon Battletoads game.
Yeah.
So it's nice that he got a final boss game all by himself.
Yeah, and a different boss than normally. Like, not just a beat-em-up boss, but actually, like, use an item to destroy him. Like, it's a little bit different, so it's nice that they did that, at least, yeah.
Yeah, I like this end boss. It's better than Battletoads Double Dragon end boss, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, this is that was the entire game basically. So we've gone through it. Good luck if you're attempting to play this game yourself, because again, it is a hard game. Like, it's Battletoads. Don't think it's not. Like, it's still a very hard game, but yeah, it shouldn't be that much of a problem.
It got a very decent learning curve. It doesn't hit you in the face from the very beginning, because every game over will get you to the next stage, the next attempt you get it. Because then you have learned the previous stages that caused you trouble. So I don't think it will take too many hours to beat this game if you actually put your heart into it.
Yeah, for sure. It just takes some getting used to, for sure. The thing I do want to mention when it comes to the controls, if you've ever played another Battletoads game, this one does feel different. Like, it struck me as I was replaying this. Like, the other ones feel a little bit more precise and working, I guess. This one feels off for some reasons. Like, the biggest example I have was with the jumps. Like, okay, in the brain race stage, like, sometimes it eats your jumps, but I don't know, like, there's something off with the jump in this one, I feel like. You really have to keep it pressed down a long time to get the height you need. And the short jumps just don't do anything. So it feels a little bit off, so be wary of that when getting into this game if you've ever played another one, because it's not the same as you would think.
Yeah, and that's back to the beginning of the episode when we talked about how you are dashing into all the enemies or ramming into the enemies in the other Battletoads game. Even the Game Boy games, the ramming is an excellent attack in both Ragnarok World and Double Dragon crossover. But you need to understand that this is a different game. You need to master or at least understand the jump and punch attack, because it's a super convenient attack for every thing in the game except the final boss.
Yeah. So yeah, a little less fluid than the other Battletoads games when it comes to control style, but like, it does its job well. It's probably just because this was the first one they made for a Game Boy, so and it wanted to be different from the previous game anyway. So yeah, that's about all we have to say about the actual game itself. Let's take a quick look at the cover art. Like you mentioned, it's the same cover as the NES version.
Just
well, not the NES version, the NES
rectangle.
No. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. Like, it's very cartoony, it's very Turtles 90s styled. If you've ever seen Battletoads art.
Yeah, and kind of like Turtles, all the three Toads look the same. We don't have the shades on one of the Toads. We don't have Pimple with his yellow. It's like the Turtles, the NES box art where all the Turtles are wearing the red bandana. Yeah.
Because it was based on the original comics, of course, but this didn't have any comics. So I don't know why they all look the same, but yeah, it's kind of weird actually, because they did make the characters before. Whatever.
Yeah, and if you play the NES version that came out before this one, if you play as player 2, you are Pimple, and he's called the Yellow Toad. So if you like do speedruns, you're doing the yellow toad run if you are playing as Pimple.
Yeah, maybe
So
this was
they knew.
definitely... The cover art probably is inspired by the Turtles, like, same characters, just to show them off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very cool... It's a comic book cover, basically. Very colorful, very 90s.
Yeah.
I love this cover.
Yeah, just before our recording here, I actually went to Swedish eBay, or Sweebay, that you called out the other day. And I just typed in Battletoads to see if there were anything fun to buy, being inspired by today's episode. And I found new printed, like a metallic sign that hangs in a milkshake bar in the 70s.
Yeah.
One of those with the Battletoads box art.
That's
so it was
cool.
I think it was 20 centimeters times 30 10 centimeters. So like a big book. And it was 10 euros with shipping. And I know it's a reproduction. I know it's nothing original, nothing Nintendo original, because the dude had like everything you can think of in metal signs like that. But it looked cool, and it had scratches and everything from the factory. I guess they are made like they're supposed to look really old. So
that's cool.
I had to get it. It was 10 euros, 10 bucks kind of.
Yeah, that's really cool. The logo is nice to have like as a sign. It's a really cool thing. So yeah, I what can you say about the cover art more? You have one of the toads punching, one of the toads kicking with his big foot, the other one lifting a rock, I guess. While strangling another rat. Like they're just fighting rats in space on a meteor or something.
They're doing Battletoad stuff.
Yeah, this is a style I love a lot, like this 90s comic book style drawings. I love that. So yeah, for Europe and the US it's the same one. For the Japanese one we have something totally different.
Pun. Not intended.
Got him. So yeah, it's still based on the same principle. Like there's space and there's I guess the meteor or the planet's surface. The logo is just not the text logo, but the icon, the Battletoads icon. I'm sure it says Battletoads up above it, and then you have like a cutout of all three Battletoads, and actually they're distinguished styles.
With the shades and Pimple being the biggest of the gang with the orange skin tone.
Yeah, so yeah, they did that, and then at the bottom you have like it's weird that they put the logo over it, but and all these Japanese box arts are so small that you can't really distinguish everything. But you see like one of the enemies like getting kicked in the face. One of them is riding a snake. Weirdly enough, they colored him the same as the Battletoad. So,
and in the middle, it looks like there are horses.
Yeah, there's horses. I don't know. Like it doesn't make much sense. It would be a cool box art if that Battletoads icon wasn't blocking half of it, and the sky wasn't 3/4 of the thing. I don't know. It's a weird composition for sure. So I would do it way different.
Yeah, for sure. The European and American one is better by a long shot.
Like they could have easily fixed this by still using their portraits with the Battletoads under it, make it a little bit smaller, just put the Battletoads logo left to it. So you only that covers 1/3 of the box art, and then just pull up the image a little bit more so you can actually see what's going on. But,
because it's super tiny, and the Japanese boxes are super tiny compared to
as well.
well, not super tiny, but almost half the size. Our boxes.
So yeah, a weird thing. I don't know. it's not even like you would say it's like manga based, but it's not. Like I think they tried to replicate a American style cover, but they just didn't really do it.
Yeah,
well.
it's strange. It's just strange.
No.
I don't prefer it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the cover art mentioned. Some trivia, not much, but some trivia. Just in general about Battletoads. First, there was a pilot for a cartoon, in the style of like Turtles, of course, but there was only a pilot. Like, people didn't like it, so it never got its own series. But the pilot got released on VHS, I believe. So
All right, cool.
Maybe it's on YouTube or whatever. Something really dumb, like apparently around 2007, some guy started making prank calls to GameStop, asking for Battletoads 2, if he could pre-order it, because it just got announced, and it was a whole thing, and then 4chan jumped on it, and they started calling another shop. There was like some TV show about an antique dealer, something like that, and they started prank calling him, asking for do you got some Battletoads? And then a whole lot of people started doing that with different game stores and things like that. So it was kind of a running gag on the internet and in real life, I guess. And when they released the Rare collection on Xbox, I forgot what it's called. They actually added an achievement to that called "Do you have some Battletoads?" or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Just
That's hilarious.
referencing that old thing about that prank call that people were calling up for to have some
cool.
Battletoads.
Yeah, Rare Replay is the
Rare Replay, yeah, that's the one. So yeah, if you see that achievement, so do you have some it's something like that. It's based on that prank call thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out, because I know I've done a lot of the Battletoads achievements on the Rare Replay.
So yeah, that's based on that. And then we've talked about this game on Game Boy. There are two other Game Boy games that we mentioned, like the Battletoads Double Dragon port and the original games port called Ragnarok's World. But apparently there was supposed to be a fourth Game Boy game based on a port of the arcade game called Super Battletoads, and that game is actually completely finished. Yes, completely finished, but because the arcade game bombed so hard, Trade West decided to not release this game on Game Boy. But they still have it, because they have played it, and one of the guys actually made got into the code of the game and made a cheat so it would have infinite lives. So that game is actually out there. But it's not been released or anything, or leaked or anything like that. Give us that game.
Yeah, because I know when this article came on like every retro web page, like or Nintendo Life or whatever pages you can read about stuff like this. That was before the newly Battletoads, the one for Xbox and PC, and I was like, come on, give us this as an Easter egg. If I complete the game with every toad or whatever, can it be unlocked in the new? But apparently we didn't get it. Yeah. And the game is 100% complete. Just
it's completed. It just never got released. That's all there is to it. And like with things going on in the past year, I would say, and I'm not talking about the leaks with Nintendo. I'm talking about all these people trying to come up with video game preservation things, like museums and things like that, and a lot of other companies releasing beta testings or unreleased ROMs out there. Yeah, please do it. Just release it. That would be so cool. I know Microsoft is responsible for Rare these days, especially the Battletoads IP. So I doubt they will, but if there is any chance, don't don't make it go down in history without even releasing it.
Yeah, because a company kind of like limited run games, if they catch a big breeze about this and like, hey Microsoft, can we release this on a physical card? Like we will buy this license from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need the right persons in the right mood of the day to get this out in the open, because it's a 100% working game.
Yeah.
It would be stupid not to give it to the community, the retro community.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe there's hope.
Yeah.
It would be nice, like that. I mean, why not? Especially if it's done, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's yeah, because the article I read just before the recording said that they just dragged and dropped the ROM into a software emulator.
Yeah.
So it's done. It's easy as that.
Yeah. No. Yeah, would be nice if we could.
Yeah,
we could see that in the near future for sure. But yeah, that's about all the trivia. We have general reception in all the new media. Basically, people love this game, and they praise the graphics and the music. But they of course mention that it's just a hard game. Like, I mean, it's just not easy. That's all there is to it. But they did praise it a lot. It got like all above 75% rating. So
yeah,
that's really
standard Battletoads. Good graphics, good music, hard game. That goes for every Battletoads game.
Yeah, for sure. And this is probably my least favorite because it's a little janky. But yeah, I don't know. It's great.
Yeah, it's a great game. I like it. I like it a lot.
All right, that's all we have to say about this game for now. Let's take another break with another great David Weiss track, and when we get back, we'll dive into our history and our thoughts of the game a little bit more detailed. A very small speedrunning section, and then we'll do the outro like always. So yeah, be right back. Enjoy the music. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that sweet Stage 3 song. You're probably humming along with it anyways, like we always do. So yeah, let's dive a little bit into our thoughts and history with the game, and I'll let you start here.
Yeah, being a Game Boy fan from younger days, I always knew this game was around. Seeing like going to conventions, seeing the box art, but as you mentioned in the beginning of the episode, that everyone, most people think that it's an NES port, and it's a later game that's an NES port, so it's kind of confusing on the Game Boy. But yeah, I've seen the game around. I never took the time to play it, but in 2017 I played it for my system challenge. The really fun part about that particular game and my system challenge is that TMR, the Mexican runner, he was the inspiration for me to start streaming on Twitch and doing a system challenge as well. I talked to him, how are you doing a system challenge? What should I think about? Stuff like that. Because I was very, what do you say? I didn't think many people did this kind of thing. I only saw TMR doing NES Mania, and I thought, wow, he's one of the few people doing this. And now, years from 2017, I know that a lot of people are doing similar things. And I was just... I only thought he was one of the few doing it. So that was stupid of me, of course. But a big thing with that was he actually came to my very first System Challenge stream, where I played Super Mario Land 2. And he watched the entire Super Mario Land 2 playthrough and commented a lot he encouraged me. So it was pretty noble of him to take the time and see one of his he inspired me. So I actually take the time to watch him play the first game. And I asked him, you can pick a game. I will play it with your name, just like NES Mania with raffles. I will have raffles as well. And he said, yeah, you gotta play Battletoads. That's the only game I want to pick. So I think Battletoads was game 6 or 7 or something, because I had some easy games in the beginning racked up, like Little Mermaid, Ninja Gaiden, Shadow. I've played a lot. TMNT 1, Batman the video game. So I had a few easy games to start with that I've beaten before. And then I had to play the Battletoads for Game Boy. And I was thinking, wow, I'm up for a challenge here for sure. But then I got surprised. Wow, this isn't the NES game. This is a unique game. It's wow, this is cool, and it's got great music and great graphics, and yeah. And the Turbo Tunnel was so much easier, because it's not the same game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually enjoy this game very much. I do like it when video game companies give you limited continues when the game is like this, when it's a good game, it's a manageable game. It's hard, sure, but if we had unlimited continues, this game would just, you played it once and then you're done with it, because you will credit feed you through the entire game. So it took me about 3 hours to clear blind. Later I did some casual speed runs of it, cause you put it in Tiny 10 8, I'd say, maybe Tiny 10 9, one of those two.
Yeah.
And the speedrun, we will talk a little more about it in a couple of minutes. It's a cool speedrun. I'd recommend it if you like to speedrun a Game Boy game. It's not hard, it's not long. It's a good game. For me personally, this is the best of the 3 Game Boy Battletoads game, and that is because it's the unique one. Ragnarok World is it's a poor NES port of the NES game. Like we mentioned earlier, how you control the Toad might be better in Ragnarok's World. But as a game as a whole, I prefer this one. And same goes with the Battletoads Double Dragon game. It's a cool concept, but I'm not a big fan of those games. It's cool that they exist. So yeah, it's absolutely my favorite out of the 3 Battletoads game, and I can see myself writing this in the comments here in our document. It might be the best Battletoads game out there. I love the NES game, but this one is just so... It's a casual playthrough now when I know the game, and the music is good, and I can hit a big worm with a jet ski, and yeah, it's a great game. I recommend it. If you're into retro, if you're into Game Boy, you should definitely play this one. 100%. So let's hear your thoughts and history of the game.
Yeah. So I never grew up with Battletoads. Like when I was a kid, I didn't have it myself, or I didn't know anybody who had any Battletoads games. But I did always knew it existed. Like probably again because like I'm a huge comic book fan and things like that, and I just saw the style or the covers or things like that in magazines, and I was like, oh wow, this is this looks pretty cool, but I never really gotten around to playing it. So it was only later during my teens when I was just checking out ROMs and emulators and things like that that I've definitely played the NES one and the Battletoads Double Dragon one on Super Nintendo. But not knowing anything about these games, yeah, they are hard. Like, I just wasn't prepared for these games at all. So I never really put much effort into them at all to play them. But I did like them, at least. For portable pleasure, when somebody picked Battletoads, and I think this was the first one that got picked. I'm pretty sure it was, actually. So I was kind of scared to play it. And it took me a while to get the hang of it, for sure. I would say it took me like 4 hours to beat this game the very first time. But yeah, I just loved playing through it. Like, it was a cool challenge. It wasn't too difficult, but it did require you to learn a lot, which I definitely like in games. So yeah, that took me a while, but like, first, I'm pretty sure this was one of the lost episodes of Portable Pleasure, so I had to redo it anyways already. And the second time around, it only took like an hour or something, so that was pretty easy to do. And then now, when I had to replay it 2 days ago, I believe, it took me 2 tries. First one, I was at Robo-Manus, but I only had 1 life, and then the second time around, I just easily finished it, so... Yeah, I think this is a great series. I should definitely play the other versions sometime. Well, the other games on NES and Super Nintendo, and maybe even the arcade one sometimes, because I haven't done that. I did play through all the Game Boy ones at least, and I liked all of them. And yeah, from an originality standpoint, I definitely prefer this one over the other 2 on Game Boy. But like I said earlier, the controls feel a little bit more wonky in this one. So from a gameplay feel standpoint, I think I would prefer playing Ragnarok's World. Battletoads Double Dragon, I don't know. There are some sections in that game that are just so brutal, I don't want to replay it, really.
Like the spaceship section.
Yeah.
Both when you walk on the spaceship and when you shoot at the spaceship, those are just terrible stages.
Indeed. So they're really brutal. So yeah, I think Ragnarok's World might be my favorite on Game Boy to play. But yeah, when it comes to originality, like this one, definitely shines over the other 2. So yeah, that's about it for me. We do have some weird writing here in our notes. I don't know what this is, but it says Ghost 3. Terrible game, frustrated me as a child, frustrates me as an adult, would rather play the new game or Turtles. So yeah, that was eBloodyCandy's thoughts about the Battletoads games. He really doesn't like it.
So he don't want to make the episode with you, so he suggested me to take the spot for this very episode. But it still has to be in the Google document and harass the game. That's how much he despises the game.
Unbelievable.
He can't even let us do this alone. Damn it, EBC.
Incredible. So yeah, that's about all our thoughts and stuff about the Battletoads game. So let's look a little bit at the speed run. Like Hero said, it's a pretty easy speed run to learn, really. There's not that much to it. The current world record is 9 minutes and 50 seconds by Wario. That just shows how short these stages are.
It's like 8 stages and it takes you 10 minutes.
Yeah, less than 10 minutes. I think the other ones are way longer. Like half an hour runs or something compared to this. So yeah, this is definitely the easiest one to pick up. I looked at it just before the podcast. Like we said, even for the casual play, it just used a jump attack. like it just destroys everything. So that's definitely what you need to go for. But there is one thing that makes it a lot different than the casual playthrough, and that's with the brain stage following you around. There's two ways actually to deal with it. One is where you position yourself in such a way that the ball goes over you, right?
Yeah, it's in the first drop of the stage.
Yeah, like there's a way for it to bounce over you, so then it's ahead of you, and then you don't have to worry about it. Then you just leisurely walk through the stage. But there's another way, and that's also at the very start of the stage, just before the first descent. You can jump up to the right, clipping through the wall. And then you just fall on the right side of the stage, all the way down to where the checkpoint, well, the end point is, and then you just walk back into the stage. So it makes that level 20 seconds long or something like that.
And that has to do with like the brain bouncing the stage, like the screen shakes when it bounces, and that is how you can actually clip into that with a very precise jump or input.
Yeah, I don't know how precise it is. I was gonna test it out, but I forgot.
Because I know when you had it in a Tiny 10 for us, you wanted us to do the stage. We weren't allowed to clip it, but it was okay to make the brain bounce over us if we wanted to. But I think most runners did the brain behind you chase. Just like usual, because that's the fastest way, because then you can outrun the brain if you're in ahead of it, but if the brain is in front of you, you cannot outrun it, because it will kill you on contact.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and in Tiny 10 we only did up until the brain stage.
Yeah,
5.
The reason for that mostly being the 7th stage, of course.
Yeah, with the pole dancing axis.
So yeah. But yeah, if you want to check that out, if you're having troubles with that stage, take a look at how to manipulate that ball to go over you, or try to clip yourself. Then you can just skip it if you want to. Because unlike the other Battletoads games, there's no warps in this one. So
yeah, and no one-ups as well as.
And no one-up, yeah. So yeah,
very very strange.
So yeah, that's the speed running section for sure. So yeah, that's about all we can say about the game. So let's wrap this episode up. We're not gonna take another break because this was a short segment anyways. This is usually the part that EBC does, because I do not keep up with this at all. But
yeah, and I'm a guest host, so I don't have to keep it.
Yeah, indeed. So all I know that is going on right now, and hopefully still then, because this episode doesn't come out, a month from now, basically. So it will be May already. But the submissions for SGDQ are open, and it's gonna be an online event again. That's basically all I know. This episode airs after Retroton, so that's over. And man, those runs that I did were so amazing.
Good job at Retroton.
Yeah, thank you.
The thing you did in Darkwing Duck, I
still cannot believe that.
At the floor.
Was so good. And then eSparks, wow, like world records.
How did you find out that new strategy?
Just on accident, then getting world record because of it. That's so amazing. I can't believe that actually all happened. So yeah, that's over. Hopefully all the runs went fine. There was, I guess, a really good Game Boy block. So hope you all watched that, and otherwise go check out the VOD.
Yeah, good luck in advanced, but not. Yeah, it's strange to say good luck today.
No, really not. Yeah. Oh,
well played is the better word.
Let's see if we have any questions.
I didn't think of that.
Let's see if there's there's only one question. Lex asks, what is it like past the hover bikes? I don't know if I've ever seen it. Well, that's another game. So I can't really...
But we're back to Supernatural for the second time this episode with that with that Dean gif going on in the Discord. So
yeah. Besides that,
Supernatural, eBloodyCandy, 2-0.
Yep. That's all we had. Ariel asked, why is this game so jank? Well, I think I explained that. Like, I think it's their first attempt didn't go so well when it comes to the control scheme. So the other ones are a little bit better in that, but yeah, whatever. It's definitely playable. But yeah, that's all of the questions we have for this episode. So yeah, like always, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, make sure to contact any of us throughout all of our social medias or just by commenting on the actual episodes or things like that. If you want to find us, like always, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, all under the /Moelle handle, which is MOELLEUH. EBC, who's not here, you can contact him on battletoadssucks@gmail.com. On Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I don't think he has an actual URL on YouTube.
I didn't see that one coming. It was hilarious.
Yeah, and also on Instagram. Our lovely producer Lex can be found on Twitter, SprintingLegs On, YouTube Legs, or on our own website, SprintingLegs.com, where all of our other projects are bundled together as well, of course. And if you want to make it easier on yourself, just go to thisisgameboy.com, where you go to our webpage, and there you have like links to everything that you could ever dream of, including our Discord, where you can talk to us. And our Discord has been a lot more lively lately, so definitely come hang out with us, and then you can like post your questions and things like that for future episodes. So Hero, where can they find you?
I'm on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram on Granen_Hero. So that, yeah, you will have to like check the description or something. It kind of means your neighbor hero, and hero is my like nickname or whatever. I'm a Swedish content creator and a system challenger for Game Boy on Twitch. So if you stumble upon my stream, I will most likely talk Swedish. But yeah, just type in English in the chat, and I will switch language to English. But I'm streaming for a Swedish audience. But never be afraid to talk English in my chat. And I know Mo are there a lot, and eBloodyCandy is there, and Legs is there. So I always welcome international viewers, of course, if I know there are international viewers around.
Yeah.
It's hard if you're just lurking. But yeah, I spend most time on my system challenge and other Twitch projects. So that it's where you will find me. And super thanks for having me in this episode as well, of course. It was,
thank you for joining me. It's always fun having you for these episodes. Usually it's with 3 people, but now it was 2. So I don't know. I'm sure the audience will tell us how it went. I mean, I think it went just fine.
Yeah, I hope so. I know my English isn't perfect.
Mine isn't either. Like
you have excellent English. I'm always impressed about your English, and yeah, eBloodyCandy.
He should know English, but
he should know he knows his native language.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll have you around again in the future for another episode. So
yeah, I'm positive.
Not sure which one yet, but yeah, there's still a lot of games to discuss.
I actually thought about doing a light someday, but I forgot what game I was thinking of.
Oh, that's cool.
If I remember what game I wanted to do a light about, I will most definitely do it if you're up to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, a light you can do on your own, basically. But,
but like under this is Game Boy production.
Yeah. No, that definitely works, and one of us can take a break. That's always it's always nice. I'm still waiting for Legs and Petra to do the Dragonheart episode, and I'm still waiting for it. So yeah,
the crowd wants it.
The crowd being me wants it, so
I'm sure me and Emily will listen to it too.
Yeah. It would be nice to not having to do an episode for one. But yeah, whatever. Anyways, if you want to support the podcast, there's a few ways you can do that. The easiest and cheapest way to do that is just by liking our stuff on the things. Wherever you listen to them, like even if it's SoundCloud, it's the YouTube videos, or it's on any other type of podcast platform that you might be listening to, just give us a rating, give us a comment, like anything like that, because those things definitely help spread the word kind of, or put us higher in the rankings and things like that, so more people can pick us up. So that's the easiest way to do that, for sure. If you have too much money on your hands and you want to give it to us, you can also do that. There's a few ways for that. You can go to our Patreon. Link, of course, on thisisgameboy.com. That will take you there, where you can support us monthly with any amount you want to spend on us, starting from $1, I believe it is. So that gives you a few benefits in our Discord. It gives you access to our episode notes, and eventually we are trying to come up with at least $20 a month. That would definitely cover our costs yearly, and then we can do more, or we can always do that, but we will do more live episodes that way, so something to look forward to. You can also just support us one time only by going to our paypal.me thingy. Again, you can just find the link on our website, thisisgameboy.com. If you want to just donate something to help us out, it would be much appreciated, but of course it's not mandatory. If you do give us something through PayPal, let us know if you have a username for our Discord or something, so we can give you the same benefits as the Discord, the Patreon people, because we do want to award you at least for supporting us, so that's the only way we can do that. And by this time, normally at least, because it's within a month from now and I am currently working on finalizing it, our merch should be up. Ooh. I can't give you the link because they made the links very dumb now. It's like your name.creator / whatever, but I will put a banner on the website with a link to our merch. In my head, it's only a shirt, but like Legs and EVC have some other things in mind they want to set up in the store. But you can get at least a shirt there. I think a mug as well, things like that. So that helps us out as well. And at this moment, there should be a limited edition shirt available. I don't know for how long. I think it's 2 months or something like that. It just depends on when we announced it and what time it is when we are releasing this episode. But it should still be available right now. It's a limited edition. It will be gone in a while, and then you can just get our normal logo. But I am making some changes to our logo to make a premium shirt or a limited edition shirt. So definitely go pick that one up if you want the limited edition one. So
yeah, great idea. Really like that one. I've seen some of the concept art in the Discord that not open for everyone to see.
Yeah, I'm currently working on it. It's weird because like Man Over Mars made our logo based off of a sketch of me, but of course Man Over Mars does it in his own unique style, and I'm altering it, and I have to like mimic his style, which I can do, but it's you always put something of yourself in it that somebody can't replicate unless you're a forger or something that has been training for years. So I'm trying to replicate it. He's giving me some pointers here and there, so I'm trying to get it as close as I can to to his design. So yeah, hopefully it will work out fine. It's almost done, so it should be up at this point.
Can't wait.
Yeah, hopefully a lot of people will get some. They're really good shirts, by the way, like quality-wise, I mean. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's all we have for today. Thank you all very much for listening. Next full episode will be me and EBC again, talking about Pokonyan Yume no Daibuken, a game we mentioned before in the previous full episode. I think the next episode is another light by EBC. Yeah, because mine was before this, the Bubble Ghost one. So I don't know what that one is about yet, but have fun listening to that one. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hi, legs. Good luck with this one.
As long as it's not a 4-hour recording, like
Yeah,
what we've been doing lately.
This should be like an hour. I think it's a pretty short game.